Good morning and happy Tuesday 10 at 10. I am your host, Richard Charpentier, and Baker influencer on Bakerpedia. So, with every Tuesday, we gather to answer your questions, and we'll take 10 minutes to go through as many questions as we can. So, let's get started. First question is someone wants to know about gluten-free pizza and hydrocolloids. So hydrocolloids is basically, as the name entails, hydro, water, and colloid is ingredients able to form gel into a water solution. And usually ingredients like protein, dietary fiber, and modified starches and gums have been used as hydrocolloid in many gluten-free solutions to help bakers make great products. And in the case of gluten, the gluten is acting as a network builder and allows you to entrap the gas so you get your volume. In gluten-free, it will be relying on mostly hydrocolloids to form a gel that allows you to expand your breads and get the volume similar to a gluten bread. And if you're looking for vendors who might be able to do that, I suggest you, based on your area, looking for gluten-free solutions for bakers, or go to Bakerpedia, where you'll find a lot of great resources regarding the availability of vendors selling gluten-free solutions in your area. So best of luck with you. Second question is on packaging, and someone wants to know how to the best practice to package soft cookie. So in order to package soft cookie, they have to make sure they baked all the way through, right, to the right internal temperature. And the cookies are at the right temperature when you're packaging them. What's the right temperature, you may ask? So the right temperature, what I've learned as a rule of thumb, is you have to stay within plus or minus 10 degrees from Fahrenheit to the temperature of the environment. So the environment in your packaging area or in the bakery. So you don't want to deviate too far whether the cookies are too hot or too cold, because it will create condensation, and condensation will bring extra moisture, which will be probably more prone for mold development and issues with the shelf life of your product. So super important to check the temperature of your products before being packaged. So now for another question, we're looking at a farinograph, and someone wants to know, they're using the water result from the farinograph and how they convert the result of the actual water being added. So technically it's quite simple. It's on baker's percent. Most farinograph are using a 300-gram test sample. So if you have to get to the 500 BU, how much, line, for those who have run the farinograph, how much water did you need? So then you would take that number you used, divide that over the total amount of flour you use for your test sample of farinograph, which is 300 grams, and you will have a percent, and usually you'll get between 55 to maybe 65%. And then by using that number is the number you have to use in order to, for your own production with that specific flour. I hope it helps, but it's quite simple. Then on question on inulin, someone wants to know how to make a zero net carb claim, and how does that work, if you're using inulin. So there's no true regulations of, zero net carbs. So I would check with a regulatory expert within your area to ensure that, you can claim those claims as zero net carb. But overall, what the industry practice today, you would look at your total carbohydrate on your nutritional label and subtract the amount of dietary fiber per serving, and that will give you your amount of carbs. So technically, if you have a total of dietary fiber per serving of of carbohydrate per serving of 25 grams. I'm making it up. Then therefore, in order to be zero net carb, you will have to have 25 grams of dietary fiber. Therefore, 25 minus 25 equals zero, and therefore a zero net carb claim. So, but again, please do double check with a regulatory expert to ensure that those claims are feasible. And now the next question: what would be the best practice for Arabic sweets such as Baglawa and Mamul Thamar, which is dates, and also basically it's a cookies filled with either date or chocolate filling. So the shelf life is going to be dictated when you have several components of water activity equilibrium. So that means if your cookie dough has a low water activity, let's say of 0.65, and your filling is at 0.8, the water will migrate from the filling to the crust and therefore making the crust soggy. So how do you solve it? By doing proper product development and ensuring that the AW, also called water activity, matches, is very close to the filling, and vice versa. And if you're not sure, I would highly recommend you seek the advice of a bakery consultant, and they're easy to find on Bakerpedia, on their bakery resources, where you can find an array of different bakery consultants ready to help you. But best of luck, and thank you for sending the question. Now, someone wants to know, they asked for a recipe using vanilla paste, and they want to go with a good substitute to use vanilla for a paste. So usually the difference between a vanilla paste and a vanilla extract is on the vanilla paste, they're using the seeds and they're using other things. So, and it's more of a paste, and often you'll see sugar also added, where it's a thicker consistency. As the extract, you have basically just liquid, easy to pour, and you don't have any visual specks. So some people tend to prefer the paste, because if you have a yellow cupcake and you cut through, you'll be able to see all the specks of vanilla. It appears richer and more, more vanilla, but they're sort of the same. They're one-to-one, they're replaceable. If you're trying to make your own vanilla, which I have, it's taking a solvent or an alcohol base and putting your vanilla there to get the flavor being extracted. But it's not sure what you're using. And if you don't want to use an extract, which they're more expensive, there's natural flavors, and then there's artificial flavor, which is cheaper. But all of those is basically downgrading from the pure extract. So I hope that was the last question. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching Tuesday at 10 at 10, and I'll see you next week. And happy baking. Thank you.